Yes.
How how's Baby G on keeping you busy under this whole quarantine?
Well, for now, he's in the house, so let's be thankful for that. But he's
Yeah.
driving me crazy. He's a toddler, so he's always into everything. He repeatedly says mommy. So if he's asking me a question, he says it like 5 times before he lets me answer.
Uh,
But it's fun.
it's fun.
Yes.
So how did you get involved with Married to Medicine?
So they actually, I guess there's recruiters that look for people that are suitable for a show. And so the recruiter, I guess, for this show messaged my husband on Facebook and was like, "Hey, are you guys interested in doing this?" And my husband didn't respond, and he just, screenshotted me and was like, "If you're interested, you can do this, but I don't want to do this." And then it was actually during a time where I was going through a lot of transition. I was pregnant with G, and my grandmother, who passed away at 102, she had
Oh,
just passed away like
sorry
a
about that.
week before. No, yeah, thank you. But we were really close, and it was just a transitional period. So I just, I had always said I would never do reality. He and I both
Yeah.
said that to each other. And then when the opportunity presented itself, it was just like, I'm just real like big on filling out the energy. And it just kind of felt like maybe this is the vibe right now. Like maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I did it.
So going into the auditioning process, how was that like?
Well, I think the other cast members had to audition, but I didn't.
Oh, so
But
so
but I'm saying that because if I did have to, I wouldn't do it. I only did it because it was so easy, and it was just
yeah,
like, I mean, it's a different story when you're like auditioning for a role. That's not something I was interested in. It almost felt like all of the barriers that typically are there, the hurdles that you go through to do something like this, they weren't there for me. So I just figured, well, okay then.
so how hard is it for you to not get into character, but to get acclimated with the cameras following you 24/7?
Um, that's not hard for me, to be honest, because I gotta tune people out all the time. It's it's more like it's more like, you know, remembering that, okay, wait, this is a show, because like I'm just somebody who doesn't I'm not about like trying and like putting on a show or being like being an actress for reality. Like
Right.
I'm totally down for filling a role on a movie, but to want to show people like reality in a new way is like, it's hard because I can be myself very easily, but it's hard for me to be entertaining for people that watch reality, because a lot of people want you to, I guess, be very, I don't know, ratchet. I don't know,
Yeah.
because I feel like when you watch reality, you're almost watching stuff that's not reality. And so
Right.
that was like a struggle for me, was like knowing the cameras are there and sometimes feeling like I got to put on a show. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want from me? Because I'm being real. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna throw my drink on her. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
really don't care that much. So there were times where I had to, act like I care or
Mhm.
act like I'm mad, because if I didn't, it would be boring.
So did you tell a production that certain things are off limits? And if you did, what were those particular things?
Um, no, I mean, other than my husband not wanting to be a part of it, that was the only thing that was off limits. Everything else was free game.
Okay. So so Atlanta, that was the first franchise. And so then Houston came, and Houston didn't deliver, so they didn't get renewed for season 2. So you guys got renewed for season 2 because you guys delivered. You guys came, and you made us fan fan favorites. So what was it? What is it about the LA cast that made us all fan favorites?
I mean, I can't really answer that. I guess you, the viewer, you got to tell me, what did you like? But I think from my perspective, being on a show produced in LA, LA is just, it's a unique vibe. And I feel like anybody, even if it's not, you know, Atlanta or you know, some of the other big franchises, is still very LA. Like, even if we annoy you, even if you're just like over it, we're still LA. So, you know, you still want to see, you know, like I feel like we have a lot of those people who love to hate us,
Yeah.
but they gonna love us in the end, you know, like you just have to give us a chance. So I don't know if I answered your question, but
Oh, you did.
okay.
So, when it comes to reality TV, everyone, there's always cliques. So I know that you and Shanique are best friends.
We are very, I mean, as a grown ass woman, I don't call anybody my bestie, but
Oh, okay.
we're down for one another. She has my loyalty.
And how did you two meet?
We met on the show. We met, there was a process to filming. So we had to like film a sizzle reel before we actually filmed season 1. And that's when I was actually pregnant. So during that time between filming the sizzle reel and the actual production of season 1, we would link up, hang out. She came to my baby shower, G's birthdays. We enjoyed each other's company. And we continue, you know, you're like, oh, like, you know, even as an adult, you're like, I want to kick it, you know, but
Yeah.
sometimes the husband's not around, you don't want kids. So I would kick it with Shanique because she was cool and it didn't seem forced.
So who's your second favorite if Shanique isn't around that you can depend on for a good time or for one that you can talk to?
That would be my Kendra. She's a newbie. She's a mom. She is a doctor. She's a wife. And she's a fun time. Like, she knows how to laugh. She doesn't take herself seriously. She's not trying to fill a role. She's not judging me. She respects me. You know, there's certain layers to people that I need to see. And those were some of them with her. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be like me. We don't have to be the same, sis. But what you need to do is respect that I'm an individual and I can hold my own just like you can hold your own. You don't have to, you know, have any preconceived notions when you don't even have anything to base that off of. And I felt like even from the jump, Ken was, you know, respectful. We laughed very easily. We would I always like scope out like just quick little drives with people. Like if we want to run somewhere at a CVS, you know, we're filming, we would run somewhere and it didn't seem awkward. Like, you know how you get in the car with someone and it's like,
And it's complete silence. Yeah.
yeah, or like you say something and they don't laugh and it's like, well, you know. So with her, it was like we would crack up. We have the same sense of humor. And I mean, she's just a beautiful girl.
Right. So with reality TV is real life. So at the end of the day, when it comes to real life, we dislike certain people. So who's your least favorite?
You know, it's funny because they are both new people. Sorry, it's a plane.
No, you're
It's
good.
loud. So it's funny because both of them, my least favorite and my favorite, are new people. So my least favorite is that other new girl.
Who? Who? Which one?
Well, Kendra is one. So whoever the other one is, that's my least favorite. And I'm not saying her
Oh,
name because when you say folks' name, you give them light. So that's the only reason why I'm not saying
oh,
her name.
okay. Oh, so she hasn't been introduced to the show yet, right?
Oh, yeah, she has. I'm just saying I don't care to say her name.
Okay, you won't give her that much props. Okay, I
Yeah,
respect that. Yeah,
that's it.
exactly. And so for those individuals that you didn't like, so this season you're proving everybody wrong. Because on the first season they try to put you in a box and stereotype you, but this season
Right.
you came strong. Well, not that you came strong because you were strong the first season.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. So this season you're an entrepreneur. How did you get into the concierge business?
Okay, so this is something that I actually want to clear up because we know that these things are edited. I've been a boss since before I was filming, and
Oh,
they did not
okay.
show my business last season.
Oh,
I was actually we structured the entire style of the Hollywood Villa. So I was working on the actual construction aspect of that property. But I've always had my concierge, and I've always had my online women's boutique. And so they did film some of that, but they didn't show it. So last season was hard for me because I feel like, you know, you're like boxing me into this person that just now suddenly became a business person, but that was never the case, you know? So it was a very hard season for me. But to answer your question, this concierge business is actually, it's flourishing. So I will say that this season really allowed me to show you how it is becoming bigger, because that's my goal for it. I want to expand. I want to be in Miami. I want to be in Vegas. I want to be in all the hot spots, not just LA, but this is our base. So, so it is, I am growing in my entrepreneurship through this, because, you know, people want different things. More people want more things. So the volume is growing, and just my mind and my sense of business is heightening, and just like bouncing off the walls, like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, we could, you know? So I will say that.
So this massive villa that we saw that the Atlanta cast member stayed in.
Yes.
So how did you find that property? Because that's beautiful.
So we found that property. We actually, our first home together. I'm sorry, I just had to make sure he was still in the house. I ain't want him down the street. That would be a real so we used to, my husband and I, our first property that we ever lived in together was in Hollywood Hills. And that's where we actually had a few LS parties too. But we've always loved a view. But I just fought him on the fact that, like, we're a family now. I'm having a baby. Like, I don't want to be in Hollywood Hills because those roads are windy. And so we've always loved that. We were like, okay, well, maybe, you know, in the near future, when we really start making, you know, big money, we'll have that as like a little pad, you know, as like a place we could just kick it. And then we were like, I don't know, you know, like, we really love a view. How can we have this, but make it a business, you know? And so we started to look for another property with a view, and we found that one. It was the only house on the market that didn't have electric lines blocking the view. It was unobstructed. It was seamless. There's nothing blocking any of the views. And it has its ups and its downs, but it was the best for the money. So
how involved were you in the interior decorating?
Oh, I furnished I put the beds together and the couches. Yes. People think I'm like, hey, put that there. Like, no, sis. I don't unlearn my hustle. You know, I grew up in Inglewood doing everything for myself. Those are things you don't unlearn. Maybe for some people they do, you know, start to hand off. But I'm a very hands-on person. I like to get my hands dirty. I like to feel like I earned what I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, how else am I going to keep it? So I ordered everything. My husband and I, we decided on a budget that we would both be comfortable with, and then I just went on places like Wayfair and House and Restoration Hardware, and just picked and chose and built it all the way up.
I love the wine wall.
Oh, well, okay. Let me say this. My husband actually had a lot to do with the construction of it. We love this very good architect. His name is Ferris Versali. He does all of Drake's properties. So we got a lot of inspiration from some of his unique architecture.
Oh, wow.
And you see some of his architecture in some of the biggest hotels too. So we admire his style, and so we would take pictures off of Google and off of his Instagram, and then we would have our architect build it.
Nice. And that pool on the top story with that the whole view. So did you have a say in that?
Did we do what?
Oh, did you have a say on the pool?
I couldn't hear that last part.
Oh, did you have a say when it came to the pool?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We built that pool because the pool that was there had some tile that was like dated. So we took out all the water and resurfaced the pool, and then we made it more modern with the shape. We also made that main floor that you see the two double doors open up to the view, that was obstructed. Can you believe it was windows and just real choppy? Yeah, we had to knock that wall out. Kind of like how they say it's build support and all, whatever. I'm not an architect, but he had to do a lot to make that seamless, you know. So we knocked that whole wall out, so it was just view.
So when you opened your doors to the ladies of Atlanta and Quad had her feedback, how did you take that feedback? In a positive way or in a negative way?
You know, I took it in a positive way. When it comes to business, the customer is always right, whether you know they lying or not.
Yeah.
So, so I definitely did have waste baskets and toothbrushes, but I didn't have some of the things that she suggested. So I definitely appreciate her feedback. And like I said, I'm a businesswoman. So if you're telling me how to make my business better, I'm gonna listen. You know.
So looking back on season one, which prepped you for season two, what regrets did you have during season one that prepped you for season two?
Um. Well, I don't have regrets. I never have regrets because, you know, they're all lessons. But one thing that I do wish, or one thing that I learned from season one is that everybody is not going to like you.
Right.
They're just not. And, you know, you could call it, immature of me to think that people, you know, like me, want people, that I want people to like me. But I think just human nature, you want folks to like you. You want to be liked. And I'm just that type of stand-up person that's really just showing up as myself and giving you what I can give you and sharing whatever I can share with you, and just, you know, just being real. And so when you're that kind of person,
Okay. So what can we expect from you season two?
season two, I think you can just expect more. I think that they have decided to give your girl a little more camera time. So
Which you deserve.
thank you. But you will see more of me. You will see me at my worst, and you'll see me at my best. But you'll consistently see me being real. And, you know, sometimes that's hard to watch because nobody wants to see the parts where you're like, oh my God, I look so annoying. Or, oh my God, why would you say that? That's childish. Get over it, you know? So I think that you'll see all of me, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and be gentle with me when you make your opinions and assumptions and comments, because I'm really just living my life out loud, and it's not easy.
Cool. So for the individuals that are watching right now, what can we expect on tonight's episode?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked that, because tonight tonight I am going to be the high school Jazzy who's a little bit annoying and who's harping on something that I shouldn't be harping on anymore. But I'm sensitive, and it takes me a little bit of time to forgive folks. You know, when you've been hurt and you've really trusted women with everything, and it's not reciprocated, your walls are built, and vice versa. There's other folks on the show, they build their walls and they take their time. But um that's what you'll see. You'll see me taking my time, annoying or not.
Okay. So before we wrap up, what would you like to say to all the fans?
Well, most of my Insta fam, they know that I love them like they my cousin from Modesto, because I got cousins in Modesto. Like, I just want to say I love you, and I want to say thank you, and I want to say, you know, I know that your guys' time is valuable. I know that you could be watching Real Housewives or The View or whatever folks watch. You could be watching that, but you're watching me, and you're pouring into me, and you are commenting, and you showing me love, and I'm thankful. Like, I see that. I don't ever think that I'm, you know, too good for this or too good for that. I know that everybody's time is precious, and if you're gonna give it to me, I'm gonna make sure it's worth it, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all something to watch.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time out to and speak to us. And we're tuning in tonight at 9 o'clock. And it's every Sunday at 9
Yes.
o'clock.
Thank you, Joelle.
Anytime. Thank you.
Bye.